idea of a performance car that's big and heavy and higher off the floor has quite understandably got enthusiasts going, "You what, mate? You're joking, aren't you?" But that hasn't stopped performance SUVs from becoming big business anyway. This is Ford's attempt at one. This is the sporty ST version of the regular Puma. It's got the same engine as the excellent Fiesta ST, and it's got some upgrades in there that makes the drive a lot more fun. Plus, this very subtle mean green paint that actually I really quite like. I know when we reviewed the Puma before, I said it looked a bit froggy. Well, this is it in full Kermit spec. Spoiler alert, guys, this car is really rather good. But before I tell you why, in the words of Shakespeare, liketh this video, subscribeth to the Carbuyer YouTube channel, and clicketh the bell iconeth, and you get notifications every time a video goes live. Classic Shakespeare. The engine shared with the Fiesta ST is a 1.5 litre 3-cylinder petrol engine, and it has the same 197 brake horsepower here in the Ford Puma ST. Ford has taken the standard Puma and fitted bigger brakes, made the steering quicker and stiffened the suspension, while new bodywork at the front and rear of the car adds a significant amount of extra downforce. Our car has the optional performance pack, which gets you launch control and, most importantly, a mechanical limited slip differential. Now, the reason I say most importantly is because that differential is part of what makes this car such great fun to drive. Rivals like the Cupra Formentor or the Audi SQ2 or the VW T-Roc are, yeah, they've got an extra 100 brake horsepower, but having more power doesn't make the handling any better, and it's part of the reason why they're more expensive to buy. Together with a torque vectoring system, the diff means that you can really get the nose of this car tucked into corners before powering out the other side nicely, and that is so satisfying. The steering's got a nice bit of weight to it, and it feels nice and precise. The whole thing feels really adjustable as you're taking corners really quick. Now, one difference between this car and the Fiesta ST is that Ford has given this a slightly firmer suspension. Now, that is to compensate for the slightly higher centre of gravity, and it's totally worked. The body control is really impressive, and the whole thing feels surprisingly agile. Another thing that is unlike VW group cars is this 6-speed manual gearbox. A lot of the rivals have automatics, but this is so satisfying to use. It is super crisp, very sharp. It's another thing also that sets it apart from the competition. For the record, the Ford Puma ST will do 0 to 62 in 6.7 seconds, but it's how it handles corners that makes it stand out. If you want a small SUV that is entertaining and rewarding to drive, this is the one to buy. It's also proof that more power doesn't necessarily mean more fun. I'm just going to take this corner. If all of this sounds too good to be true, then now is a good time to come clean about a few of the car's minor drawbacks. The first is the ride quality when you're not driving quickly. Around town, the Puma ST can feel quite skittish and unsettled because the suspension is so firm. It gets better at higher speeds, but it's distinctly bumpy when you're travelling more slowly. Similarly, the quicker steering seems quite sharp for a crossover. You do get used to it, but it would be more comfortable more of the time if it wasn't quite as sharp or darty. The final compromise is fuel economy. While the car officially returns 41.5 miles per gallon, which sounds great, drive it with gusto, which you'll want to do, and you'll easily see half that figure. So while the ride is slightly firmer in certain situations, thankfully, we have these very comfortable heated Recaro sport seats that come as standard. And while they look the biz in a sporty little number like this, they're also really good at holding you in position when you're chucking the car into corners. I'd say the interior isn't uber sophisticated or stylish, but the materials used and the build quality is generally very good. The steering wheel, the gear knob and the pedals have all been upgraded to look a bit more sporty and feel a bit more tactile. Plus, you've got all the tech you would expect. You've got wireless phone charging, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, sat-nav, you know what I mean. all the things. Plus the B&O sound system sounds really nice. Behind the steering wheel, we've got a 12.3-inch digital instrument panel, and this here 8-inch infotainment touchscreen houses Ford's very serviceable Sync 3 software, which is super easy to use. I know the graphics might seem a little bit dated, but let's be honest, most people are just going to connect their phones anyway. And then, what do we have here? Something of a collector's item, a climate control panel that not only has buttons, has dials as well. Treat yourself. That is such a dream after all the cars I've been driving lately that have all had touchy slideys. So we're just going to take a moment to appreciate the buttons and the dials by pressing that and doing this. DJ! This is really satisfying.
Okay, Nicola, that's enough. Back to professional mode, thank you.
I'll stop now, I'll stop.
There's only one version of the Puma ST to buy, so there aren't any decisions to make about trim levels or engines. Standard kit includes LED lights, a contrasting black roof, 19-inch alloy wheels, cruise control, keyless entry, plus all the interior tech already mentioned. A lane departure warning system and AEB are also standard. The options list is similarly simple. There aren't many to choose from, and the only one we really think you should go for is the Performance Pack at 950 quid. It's good value and seems like a logical choice for a car like this. It's also worth noting that there are 7 other paint colours to choose from if you really don't like the Kermit green of our car.
Chances are, if you're looking at the Puma ST rather than the Fiesta ST, it's because you want the space and practicality that comes with an SUV. Now, the shape of the Puma does mean it is more spacious back here than the Fiesta. You can have 3 tall people sat back here quite comfortably, even if they don't really want to sit here for extra long journeys. I know you've got small SUVs like the Renault Captur that's got the slidey bench, or the Skoda Kamiq that's a bit more spacious, but none of them come in a form to rival the ST version of the Puma. Oh, while we're talking about practicality, we have to talk about this boot. So we have a powered boot lid. Wave your foot underneath the bumper. 456 litres of boot space, which is actually the biggest in the Puma's class and considerably bigger than the Fiesta. You've got 292 litres in that one. And yeah, I know Honda have their magic seats and Skoda have their simply clever stuff, but Ford have a mega box. Another 80 litres of boot space underneath the boot floor. I mean, you can chuck whatever you want in there. Some mucky wellies, shopping. Goodness me, what more do you want from a boot?
Okay, time to take a look at the Dealmakers and Dealbreakers for the Ford Puma ST. The car may not have as much power as some rivals, but there is more than enough for British roads, and it's the best of its type when it comes to handling and outright fun. The Puma ST has a big boot, and the mega box storage makes it even more suited to family life. Some of the alternatives might be slightly bigger, more powerful, but if you're after a performance SUV, the Puma ST is the best value. The firm suspension setup is great for the car's cornering and agility, but it makes the car fidgety at low speeds.
So there you have it. I think I've made myself perfectly clear, haven't I? If you want a small performance SUV, there's nothing around at the moment that's as fun to drive as the Ford Puma ST. So much of what we love about the Fiesta ST has been moved over to this car. I mean, I know it's not quite as poised as a Fiesta because of its SUV body, but it's a very appealing proposition if you want to use this as a family car. As soon as you start comparing it to other SUVs, this just seems more attractive. I know it's not quite as powerful as some of the obvious alternatives, but it's a lot more involving to drive, and hey, considerably cheaper.
If you enjoyed this video, then why not watch our Audi SQ2 review or our SUVs playlist. Thanks for watching.